Hello, my name is Ariel, and in this video I'm going to be talking about something, a very serious issue. So, recently on a video, this was kind of sparked by something, a comment I saw on a video, and it's something I was considering talking about for a little while, but I saw a particular comment and that made me feel the need to address it a little bit more. So the comment just simply read KYS ASAP, and I'm not always, I don't know all of the internet acronyms, so I looked it up on Google and I found out on Urban Dictionary that it stands for kill yourself. So the thing is, I'm not really offended personally on a personal level, as in, someone telling me to kill myself. I don't take it seriously. I don't, whatever. But I am frequently really bothered by the very casual use of suicide in language. People saying, "Oh, I'm gonna kill myself if I'm gonna, kill myself as that. You should kill yourself. Why don't you go kill yourself?" Things like that. It really has always bothered me because it just really trivializes suicide, and I don't know. Especially things like that. I'm fine, and I don't think, and someone saying, telling me to kill myself online is not going to make me do anything. But not everyone is like that, and there's a lot of people who something like that could be, even if it's, just in an acronym, it's not even, spelled out. Things like that can really affect people. If you're someone who's already very much on the edge and is already, the thing is, you really don't know with anybody. You can't know for sure that they're in a secure mindset and they're in a safe mindset. It's just really, I think that probably the person who wrote it was just trolling and was, just making a joke, and, I understand that, but I just think it's really not an okay thing to joke about, certainly not in that manner, in a manner where, just specifically very much, if it's in a manner where you're directly targeting a person and you're telling that person that they should kill themselves, it's just disturbing. I think you have to recognize what you're actually saying. You're suggesting that they take their own life, and that's, of course, a horrible thing. A person's life is very precious, and I think this is a basic thing that most of us can agree with. And not only that, but things like suicide, it's not just bad because, at the end of the day, we don't know what happens to people after death. We can't know, for sure. People can say that they, with certainty that they believe in heaven, or they believe in some sort of afterlife, or they believe in whatever, but at the end of the day, we can't know any of that for sure. We can't know for sure what happens after someone dies. And the thing that's really hurts people, though, anyone committing suicide, it has an effect on other people. Even if you didn't know that person that well, it's a thing that really hurts people. And there's always someone who it's going to affect. If someone commits suicide, they most likely, will have parents, or if they're, even if they're old, there's, people will know, and people, it's a thing that really hurts people, and it's really triggering for people. And, I don't know, I think just, I think it's really gross how, and even things like saying, I'm gonna kill myself if, or jokingly saying you're gonna kill yourself. That kind of way of joking about it it's just really not worth it, because it's really, it's a serious thing that people actually have to struggle with. There are people who seriously, contemplate suicide, and that they really struggle with that, and I just don't think it. While I really think that it's very important that people stop using suicide in like a very casual manner, where they're just using it to make a point or using it to, just to express anger towards a person. By the way, I totally don't mind people criticizing my videos. I don't mind people saying criticism, whatever. If you want to criticize my video, or, say that you don't like me or whatever in a comment, that's fine. The thing I don't like, though, is, first of all, if someone's going to write that on my video, chances are they're writing it on other people's videos, and not everyone is me, and, particularly I think it's very concerning. The thing about, just on anybody's videos, it's bad, but a queer person, and in particular a trans person, if you're targeting those people who are trans and who are queer, particularly trans, we have a hard enough time feeling like we're accepted by people and feeling like we're supported by society, even if you live in a place that really supports you 100% and says, yeah, it's fine, whatever, you can dress how you want, you can, express yourself how you want, you can identify how you want, even if you live in a place, I live in, right now I'm in college, and I go to a college where generally people are quite accepting. Even if you have a lot of support, you can still feel out of place a lot of times, because there's just these huge constructs that are very cis-sexist and cis-normative, saying that you're supposed to be either male or female or, whatever, and, constantly, it's very possible that you, even if you feel confident in yourself, that you're going to feel, like you don't belong, and you're going to doubt yourself. So having someone say something like this online, it's just, especially to a trans person, is just really, really awful. But anyways, just because I think that people should stop using it casually, because I think it just trivializes it, makes people treat it less like a serious issue. That doesn't mean that I think that people shouldn't talk about it. In quite the contrary, I think that we should have a lot of dialogue about it. I think that people should know that this is something that people experience, and they shouldn't feel bad for having suicidal thoughts or anything. I think that people should feel safe to talk to people if they have a problem, and should feel safe to get help, and not feel like it makes them weak in any way. So if anyone watching this video does, has an issue with that, is contemplating suicide, I would encourage you, get help. Please get help. Go to someone that you trust, or call up. There's things like the Trevor Project. There's a lot of hotlines you can call. There's all sorts of resources. Something I would not encourage: be careful when going on the internet. There's good resources, I'm sure, but specifically when you're using things like social media, like Tumblr, Twitter, YouTube, it's probably not those things are very public, and it's probably not a good idea to, in a Twitter status, or in a Facebook status, or in a Tumblr thing, or especially in a YouTube video. It's probably not a good idea if you're struggling with something at that moment, and you're struggling with suicidal thoughts or anything. It's probably not a good idea to make a post, because unfortunately there's a lot of horrible people out there. There's horrible people who will say horrible things, and will, just in general, even if the response is all nice, it's not a good idea if you're in a vulnerable state to make it very public, because it adds a certain vulnerability. So I think definitely get help, definitely speak to someone, but be careful. Don't, I mean, I think also, I mean, I think it's fine, I mean, if you've had a difficult time and you've, dealt with something, after the fact, if you're feeling better, I think it's, it can be a very good thing to talk about it, because, it's helpful so that people don't feel like they're alone in this kind of thing. But when talking about something like, I mean, be very, very careful though. Make sure that you are in a healthy state of mind, because if you are going to open up in that kind of way, you have to be very careful with things like YouTube, and it makes you vulnerable. It makes people know something about you, and again, there's horrible people out there. You need to make sure that, I mean, the main thing you need to make sure of is just that you're healthy, and specifically mentally healthy, and so be careful, and make sure just make sure you're safe. That's all. I'm sorry that I had to make this like a very serious video, but I just think it's an important thing to talk about, and I think that it's an important thing for people to know. I mean, and I think I'm not trying to say that all people who say things like that are bad. There's a lot of people, some people it's just a casual thing, like, they've kind of gotten so used to saying like, oh, I'm gonna kill myself if I get another homework assignment, or oh, I'm gonna, you should kill yourself because you fucking did that thing, or whatever. I mean, I understand that sometimes it's one of those things, just like, people, a lot of time, there's all sorts of habits, speech habits that people get into, but I think it's important to realize what you're actually saying. You're not just saying like a thing that's just a joke. I mean, you're saying something that's very real for a lot of people, and it's something that really shouldn't be trivialized, because if you're saying that you're going to commit suicide, that should be taken seriously, no matter what. And if you're just using it as like a casual thing, it makes when someone is actually having a hard time with it, what makes people less inclined to take it seriously. So be careful what you say with things like that. It does matter.